So I have to say, obviously we're going to talk about the new single and the video and stuff, but I'm super excited just to meet you because I have literally been a fan of Emerson Drive since I was a kid, not to age anybody at all right now, but I remember it was 2002, you guys released your Emerson Drive album, and I had it on CD, and I had a CD Walkman, and I was 10, and I was really, really bad at going to sleep as a kid. I did not want to go to bed ever. So I used to lay in my bed with my CD Walkman and listen to Should Be Sleeping. And I know it was not about a child not sleeping, but you guys literally were like my every night anthem of like, I should be sleeping right now, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so where do you guys feel like, because I mean, you guys have done so much since the band got together, and, what do you feel like how do you feel like you guys have evolved as far as going from, that album to now with putting out Footprints on the Moon?
Yeah, it's a big question, but I guess I look back in the beginning in like 95, 96, when we were just coming out of high school. Those first 5 years were, they were so key and instrumental to really finding the sound of the band. And it's hard to explain to a lot of artists nowadays, because we caught the tail end of like the bar days when we were playing 6, 7 nights a week in a bar, week after week after week. We were on the road for 250 days a year. Without a record deal, we were just traveling in a van and trailer. Those days, when I look back, if I look back on them 15 years ago, 3 years ago, the consistent thing about that time was it helped really identify the sound. It taught each individual in the group how to live together as a band, which I think is probably the most important piece. Mm-hmm. And over the years, the different struggles that you go through as a group, as a band, personally, all that stuff really comes into play. And if you can be have that tight inner core that's always been there for us, it really helps through a lot of different situations. So
yeah,
I've often wondered through the years what would have been like, or if I would have gone out my own type thing.
Yep.
There's not a day that goes by that I'd ever change any of that. I have too many incredible memories with with the guys, and just a great story that's ours for the rest of our lives. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have an automatic extended family that is through everything in your life with your family and your kids. That is kind of cool. That solo artists don't really have that other than just their band. But you guys are even tighter because you are collectively Emerson Drive.
Yeah, it's a unique thing as a band. It's I mean, obviously you realize why it's so hard to be a band and have longevity. Mm-hmm. I think once you reach that, that point in your career where everything just fits, and it's almost like you piggyback off one another, ideas, and just everything that comes along with being on the road and making music. It's such a great feeling to be in. I can't begin to tell you how awesome the last really 7 years have been in my life. It's not like things just function on their own, but we've got our business down to a place where we know what we want. Mm-hmm. Our personal lives have really come into play, versus being 110% dedicated to the music like we were in our 20s. And I love that balance right now. My kids still think I'm kind of cool that I can go and sing a few songs, and yet I can be at home a lot as well too.
Yeah, and your kids are quite talented. So obviously the Footprints on the Moon video that you guys did with, the band members and everyone, doing their parts, and then your background singers enter your kids. So was that your idea to get them to do that, or did they want to be a part of it?
No, they wanted to be a part of it. My daughter and son, obviously, my son's 10, my daughter's 7. They watch YouTube whenever we let them, and it's hilarious because my daughter has like recorded stuff over the past year on one of our phones, and there'd be like a 10-minute video of her being like a YouTuber. and trying to get people to subscribe to her channel and the whole bit. And I just I laugh. Anyway, come here. She's right here. She's being shy right now.
Very good singer if she can hear me.
Yeah, she can hear you. So she ran around the house for the first, half a day when we shot that video with the guys, and she kept saying how she couldn't believe that she's famous now because she's going to be on YouTube, right?
She is. I mean, as soon as they came in, I wasn't sure if they were going to sing or dance or what, and then they started singing. I'm like, wow, they're really good.
That's hilarious. Yeah. She's got more of an artistic side than my son does. He's pretty athletic, but I'm kind of worried about her. I'm trying to talk her out of, being a musician or a writer.
Once you get the bug, it's hard to lose it. That's the thing. My dad's a horse trainer, and he did the same thing. He was like, not going to let my daughter do that. And then I definitely went down that road for a while. So it kind of happens. But that song, I feel like it's such a perfect song for you guys to have out right now, because every time I listen to it, it just makes everything feel lighter around me. I don't know if that was, the intention with the song, but it's such a positive message, and it has that old Emerson Drive sound that you guys, have always had, which I love.
Yeah.
What made it for you guys going, hey, we got to release this song right now,
Well, I'm glad you said what you did. I appreciate that, to be honest with you, because you try and bridge the gap between the years. It's hard to do, right? You want to be innovative. You want to have a new sound after being, in the market now for over 2 decades. And this to me is just a straight up Emerson Drive catalog song. Like, if you looked at our songs over the years, 99% of people are going to tell you that most of our music that we've released or as a part of our albums has really been a positive message. This just really fits in that category again. The sound, I mean, we've tweaked stuff for the last 10 years to make sure that we're keeping up with everyone else that has come out as a new artist. Who's kind of fighting for those spots.
Yeah.
I remember being the new act that had nothing to lose, right? Like, there was nowhere but up because you were at the bottom. And now I laugh. I mean, the energy that some of these new acts have, there's no way I can keep up with it anymore. But I'm in my 40s now, so I guess I have a little bit of something to lean back on. I've always enjoyed, though, the idea that our fans or new fans come up and have something great to say, especially the positive side of the music.
Yeah.
That's always been a pretty strong point in our career, right from the start.
Yeah. All your music just instantly makes you feel good. And I think the last time I saw you guys play a show, which I was hoping to have met you there, but was Burlington Sound and Music Festival, which I think was 2 years ago.
Yeah. A couple of years ago. Yeah.
The time is kind of all melting together, but, it was cool to watch because before you guys went on stage, there was a lot of newer artists that were on, and, you watch fans that know maybe 2 or 3 songs of those newer artists, and then the rest they're kind of sitting and, watching. And then you guys come out and everybody stands up and it's like song after song after song. They know every single word. They know every single song. Does that ever get old or really sink in for you?
No, because I can tell you the first time that I Should Be Sleeping was on the radio, I'll never forget it. It was a club that we had played in Kansas City, Missouri, and we played I Should Be Sleeping as the very first song in the set, and then I made sure that we played it at the very end of our set because it was the only song that people knew, right?
Right.
So fast forward 10 months, I think we went back into the exact same club. The first time we were there was maybe a dozen people. Yeah. And we went back 10 months later and it was completely sold out. So I look back on those days and I was always like, oh my God, if we could just have another couple songs that people knew, this would be so much easier, right? And now we're in a position where, our whole set, our whole show is music that, most people have heard before. So that never gets old. Trust me.
It's cool to watch as a fan because, especially with my job, I get to see shows and watch artists that no one's ever seen before, and no one knows their songs, but to see a band that I grew up listening to, and then also watch everyone around me know every word, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It might be a little cliche, but the whole idea of being relevant still after the amount of years that we've been doing this is just amazing. I think that we all were hoping for a strong career in the beginning. I don't think you can ever expect to have 2 decades and still going in this business. A lot of times there's just too many things that work against you. So it says a lot, obviously, for the fans, for radio, for media, and obviously for just the group itself, just having that ambition to just keep doing it. We love it, obviously, right? So
absolutely. Well, I'm super glad that you're still doing it. And so new song, Footprints on the Moon, does that mean that there is possibly new music in the wings to keep coming?
yeah, we've been in a really sweet spot in the last few years. We bought a studio a handful of years ago, and it's really kind of changed the whole idea of how we create music. God, if I look back on the beginning when we got signed to our first record deal, it was so structured. You were in the studio for only 6 weeks. You were in there from 10 in the morning, which is early, obviously, for music industry, until 3 or 4 in the morning, and working on music. It just seemed like it was so confined to us, just getting stuff done in a certain amount of time in a box. And when I fast forward now to where we're at, we can go in anytime we want. There's no one telling us that it's going to cost this much amount of money. No one's saying that you got to be done by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That has, I think, taken a lot of the creative weight off your shoulders. That aspect now, like, we can create music even with me being here in Maine and the guys being in Tennessee. It doesn't matter where we are. We can create it and still make something or do pre-production to be ready for it. So
yeah,
I think it's phenomenal where things are at today when it comes to just the technology side of recording, because it has obviously come full circle from where we were 20 years ago to where it is today. So that's a pretty amazing part.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm a huge fan of the song, and I hope that I get to meet you in real life at some point in the future when all of this craziness is over.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny to talk about 2021 already, but for us, it's kind of really becoming a reality of live music. So
I know.
yeah, it's really weird. But I think that 2021 obviously is going to be a really amazing year for everyone that loves music. It's just,
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of people that are going to be showing up to venues and being a part of festivals and small club settings and theaters. It's just going to be a really unique time in everyone's lives that you're probably never going to forget. So that side of it, I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and nice to meet you. And I'll keep playing Footprints on the Moon because I love it so much. And hopefully I get to hear you guys play it in real life in 2021.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.